Hi folks, this is going to be about your special project. In other classes it might be called a term paper, but that scares people, and I'm not a big fan of having people write term papers because I like to have people do special projects, and they're in the form of presentations. And the nice thing about doing a special project is that it can be uploaded to Canvas and it can be shared with other students, whereas if you share a term paper, pretty sure that you're going to find a few people falling asleep reading the term paper. So presentations are going to be the word for the day. I am a fan of PowerPoint myself. Google Slides is also out there, and there are a few other presentation programs, but I don't want us to get into the mindset that fancy, super duper cool looking transitions, and that's going to increase your grade. Not so. What I would like you to do is present a very clean and simple set of slides, approximately 40 slides to cover your topic. In my makeshift studio here, we have the possibility for two exciting events. I have a loft in back of me that I built for my kids when they were small, and now the cat likes to be up there, so I might find a cat jumping off of the thing. The dogs might be barking in the other room, and I'm just trying this whiteboard out here, and it's propped up rather precariously, so we may have a little disaster. So this may be like a little bit of outtakes. I published a explanation of what your special project is supposed to be about, and it's supposed to be about something that you are interested in, okay? So there's going to be me over here, and there's going to be you over here. I am pretty good at giving you the general assignments that do the survey of photo history. I want you to know something about the context. I want you to know something about the big picture development of how photography became what it is today. But ever since I was an undergraduate, and ever since the term research paper entered my life as an undergraduate, I always held my breath, because I felt okay if I got to choose the subject. To a degree, I got to choose the subject, and I always felt pretty bad about when the topic was thrown at me and they said, you need to do a research paper on the Revolutionary War. That was not anything of my interest, but of course, as a requirement, these are the sorts of things that you have to do. So I am giving you a certain number of assignments, but I want you to give yourself, I think, maybe the most important assignment in the class. And that is an opportunity for you to do research into something that relates to your personal goals. So I'm going to try and give you some ideas of what that could be. I have had students in my class that are art people. That's what they're degree, that their certificate they're pursuing is an art certificate. For these sort of people, they may have a particular style of painting that they like, and maybe it's surrealism. That's a pretty popular one. So if I was in this class and I was an art student and I like to paint and draw things surrealistically, then my special project might be exploring surrealism in photography. So I would get busy looking around and seeing whether there were any photographers who were well known for their work in surrealism. And then I would write about the past, meaning surrealism in painting, and how it influenced early photographers, and then surrealism in Paris in the 1930s with Man Ray. And then I would look into surrealism today and how it's showing up perhaps in film or movies, and what the future of surrealism might look like. What kinds of things might we see if we go ahead? Now, there's other avenues that you might wish to explore if you happen to be a student in art that's more interested in photography, doing photography. Maybe you would like to do something specific about the evolution of hardware, or these days the evolution of the software, the graphic manipulating programs that are out there. Where did they come from? You'll find that an awful lot of terminology in Photoshop comes directly out of the darkroom. We would burn, we would dodge, we would diffuse, we would filter, and all of those things migrated into digital darkroom sort of thing. So you, as a photographer, you might pursue something that would enrich and make your knowledge of your goal in life better. So I have gen ed students in this class, and you're very welcome to be in this class. And some of the students that I've had before, one came out in my mind, was a person who was in fire sciences. And what he did was he started to talk with some of the people in the fire science division, and he said, how does photography fit in with the world of fire science? And before he knew it, he was deep in research, and he developed a beautiful program, a beautiful presentation, which talked about arson investigation and heat imaging inside, taking a look around inside of a burning building via special cameras. I've had nursing students, and there is so much medical imaging. Some of it's done with a camera that you and I are familiar with, and a lot of it is done with specialty imaging machines, ultrasound, X-ray. You might go into the past. You might look at how people got to pursue investigating the inside of a person, maybe first by dissection. Let's go back to Leonardo da Vinci doing grave robbery and dissecting and filling his notebooks full of drawings. And then X-rays. That was an early invention. And then after that we have the ultrasound and the MRI. So there's all sorts of things that are related to photography, and why do they use photography? I go to the eye doctor and they always take a picture of the inside of my retina, and why is that important, and what kind of equipment is used to do that, and what is the future of photography in medicine? And folks, I have had people in business, and they're very interested in how to market their merchandise. And so they go and they look into the 1920s. This is when photography first started to really make its entranceway into picture magazines. What were the photographs styled like in the 1920s? How did every decade kind of change? Because they did. There was a different look. If you browse down through the Life magazine collections at the Brass Armadillo, an antique store, and you go in there and you look at a Life magazine from the 1940s, you'll see photography, and then if you look in the 1960s, you'll see photo ads, and they're different. So that's one application in business. Forensic, and that scares me anytime I say forensic photography. There are folks who are interested in gathering evidence, and a forensic photographer needs to make sure that his poet's soul is tucked away, and he can be very objective, and he can be very careful with his methodology. How do they work a crime scene? How do they photograph? What kind of equipment do they use? What kind of lenses? You better not distort the perspective, because that's going to be tampering with the evidence. So we have all sorts of vocational overlaps. And if you don't hear me talking about something that relates to you, and you're having trouble thinking about your own goals and how they might intersect the world of photography, please email me. I may have a lead for you. I may have an idea for you to take a look at. Now, there's always this option open. You have a big, huge, thick photo history book, and it's chapter by chapter. One option for you is just to go flipping through your photo history book until you find a section where you got a lot of visual excitement and a lot of visual interest, and you want to know more about that. That's one topic that you could pursue. You could just say, I'm really interested in the new objective photography, or I'm really interested in new topographics, and I want to learn more about it. The textbook is a good start, but I want to learn more about it. So I am open to anything that is going to help you get further in your goals and your education. And when you're done with this project, I don't want you to say to yourself, boy, that was terrible. That was a hard assignment. That was like writing a research paper. I don't want to hear you say that. What I want to hear you say is, wow, I really learned a lot. I'm going to be able to pursue my goals and my careers better because I spent this time doing this research and making this presentation. So I'm going to ask you to thoroughly read the file that says all about the special project. And if you have questions, go ahead and write me right away. There is a timeline there. I'm not going to be hounding you. There's a timeline there, and I have put due dates down for declaring your your topic. And if somebody says, I'm going to study Ansel Adams, and they write it down in the discussion number 5 first, and you want to do it, then the answer is don't duplicate. Go with another sort of thing. So I do want you to declare that by next week in the discussion. I want you to put your name and what your topic is going to be. And after that, there is a progress report due in about a month or so. And then there's a final presentation due about 3 weeks after the progress report is due. So it's all about you this time. It's not about me. It's all about you. So I want you to be thinking about what kind of a topic that you would like to spend some time researching that will help move you forward. See you later.